Well, school is back in session, and high school and college students need to start networking to secure internships or a job. Here now with some tips on how to succeed with networking is Bridget Sorenson, CEO of Blue Water Wave. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Bridget, is there any wrong way to network?
Without a doubt. So, networking is really about building relationships, which build business or opportunities. I would say one of the wrong ways is to go about it when you're out and about meeting people is to talk about yourself. It's more important to really show up prepared and know who's in the room and really get to know them. If you're looking for a job interview or something along those lines, you always want to listen to them, ask prompting questions, try to find common ground so that you can create that synergy and build the relationship, which eventually can turn into a job or an internship.
I imagine that there's sometimes some nerves going into these situations, especially for students who are maybe doing this for the first time. What
Mhm.
mistakes are frequently made and how do you avoid them?
So I'd probably say one of the best advice I was ever given is be yourself. And when people were just like, I could just be myself and I'll be successful, it really takes the nerves off because you don't need to be anybody else. Most of these kids graduating from high school, from college, they have skills. You just want to match those skills with someone that actually wants. Like what you've learned and your experience and your personality and your energy. So just be yourself. That's probably the best thing and make friends because eventually if you work with someone you like to work with people you like and you admire.
So, would you offer that advice as well for those who want to create this strong professional network from scratch with zero context, with zero, kind of two lines on the resume?
Okay, so it's funny because nobody has zero. Everybody went to high school and they have connections, whether they're the students, whether it's parents of your friends, teachers. When you're in college, you're meeting many, many people, and you should be connecting with them on LinkedIn. You should be creating a list. We have a lot of lists. I have a background in finance. 100, 100 names, and connect with all of them on social media. You know, quite honestly, reach out to them and just see, do they have any opportunities? Is there anything you can do to help them? Maybe they have children where you can introduce them to somebody else, whether it's your family or your connections. But be a connector and have that list, and then it's not from scratch anymore.
I hear you mention social media and LinkedIn, and I guess it's fair to say that over the past couple of years, networking might have turned into something that's not just in person, but online as well. And so, is there a difference between networking online and how do you balance the approach with online versus in person?
So there's after COVID. Actually, my business started a few months before. We went from live events to only, quite honestly, Zoom. Again, we still made those connections, but it was much more difficult. It's always better to be in person. We had an amazing event last night at Mendelbaum Barrett in New Jersey, and the room was filled. They would much rather be in person. But if you are online, a few tips. One, show up early even if they don't turn on the camera, show up early, be prepared, have a good backdrop, keep eye contact, take notes of what they're saying because unfortunately the don't be distracted, don't be looking down, don't be on your phone, be present just like you would be in a meeting. And I think that goes the same when you're out networking. It's not a time for your phone. It's really a time to just represent yourself and be your best and be professional.
And kind of a two-part question here. How do you follow up with someone after a networking event, or if you were to even be so lucky as to get an interview without coming off as too eager? Are thank you notes still a thing?
Mm.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Well, the fun thing about really reaching back out, it really isn't about the first time. It really is about building that relationship. So you may have met them like last night at this networking event, and now within 24 hours, you will have their email and you would simply send them an email within 24 hours in the subject line. It was a pleasure to meet you at. A lot of people are networking at a lot of different events. It was a pleasure meeting you at the Mendelbaum Barrett event. And then you simply I would love to get, it was great seeing you last night. I would love to get together with you to learn more about you and your business or this opportunity. Are you available Tuesday or Thursday at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m.? And it's very simple, looking forward to it, very upbeat, doesn't have to be super lengthy. People don't read, a whole 3 or 4 lengthy paragraphs. It's direct. If they're interested, they're going to respond right away and put the time on the calendar. You send the calendar invite out. Zoom is free. Send them the Zoom link. And if you don't hear from them, people are very busy. There's nothing wrong. Keep a list. And then the following week, send them a follow-up. I know how busy it's been. I hope you had a great weekend. Wanted to see if we could put some time on the calendar, and maybe this time say Wednesday or Friday. If that time doesn't work, please let me know. And there's nothing wrong. One more time, I know my clients are very busy, and I coach all of my hunter clients, and I say, reach out again. I know they've been on vacation. Maybe, from some of the other people I work with, maybe they just had a baby, whatever it is. There's nothing wrong with being persistent. And I think for this generation, they need to know that people want to hire a go-getter. And listen, if they don't want to hire you, that's fine. But I'd much rather someone reach out to me 3 times than someone wait for me to reach out to them. I think it shows professionalism and eagerness to work.
Wow, that's some excellent advice, both for the young generation and even the more seasoned applicants out there. Bridget Sorenson, CEO of Blue Water Wave, thank you so much for joining us on the New Jersey Morning Show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.